This is the burning issue on the happy world of 5FM radio, bringing you hot, smoldering topics on a weekly basis. Your participation is important.
Yes, indeed, your participation is important. That's the reason why we give you an opportunity later in the course of the program to call in and interact with our guest. This is the Tuesday edition of The Burning Issue, and I'm your host, Zachariah Banda. Welcome to it, and we're grateful that you found time to tune in today on November 2024. Remember, we are also live on our partner radio stations, Tutai FM in Mansa on 90 point, on our partner radio station, Spice FM in Kabwe, covering Central Province. We are grateful once again for having tuned in to 89.9 here in Lusaka and the surrounding areas. Now, remember, we are also live on our Facebook FM Radio Zambia, and I believe you can also find this particular conversation live on the UPND Media Facebook page, and leave us a comment on your Facebook page, on our Facebook page, and we will definitely be reading them out. So today we are going to have a conversation around a lot of things in as far as governance is concerned. My guest, therefore, in the studio today is Mr. Patrick Samwimbila, who is the UPND Media Team member. And good morning. Welcome to The Burning Issue. Good to see you after a long time.
Wow. Good morning, Zach.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah.
After a long time.
Indeed,
yeah?
Indeed.
This is our home.
It is. And good to see you. I think we haven't spoken in 3 years plus.
Yes. But I'm well and I'm happy to see you.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good morning, listeners. It's good to be here.
Yeah. I've just mentioned that I haven't spoken to you on this program for the past 3 years plus. The last time we spoke, it was in 2021,
Yes.
prior to the 2021 general election.
Indeed.
And at the time, you were the Patriotic Front PF candidate for Munali constituency. And you were up to a huge challenge in Munali. I remember very well. And to have you today as a UPND Media Team member could be quite shocking for our listeners. Could be quite shocking for our listeners. But we would like to get down to it.
Wow. Okay.
What happened?
Great. Yes, like you've mentioned, was last year talking about our aspirations for Munali and discussing the many things that we wanted to do in Munali. And I'm happy that one of those of us that were contesting picked it, and that is Comrade Mike Imposha. And we are happy he's representing us in Munali. And like you've said, again, time has passed. We lost the election in 2021. Okay, and then the Zambian people spoke. The Zambian people spoke because, they were given options to pick. And from the options they picked, they picked the best option. And indeed, we've seen that I think this is the best option. Zambians made a correct decision in 2021 to boot out the Patriotic Front and then bring in the UPND, to which I'm a proud member of the UPND, supporting the vision of President HH, supporting the vision of the UPND leadership, and indeed the general populace of the UPND. Well, a lot happened in the PF that made me realize I think we had lost it. We did not only lose the election, but the PF also lost direction. And after the loss of the direction, I realized as a young politician myself, and also an expert, in field of governance and also in many other spheres, I realized it was time to support the president that has this vision, greater vision. They're calling him a big thinking machine, and I agree with that. I analyzed and I realized it was time for me as a young politician and as a young, vibrant Zambian to add my expertise, to add my voice, to add my skills in supporting President HH to achieve that vision that he has for Zambia. And it is happening. So in a nutshell, Zach, that's what happened. The PF lost direction. And I'm sure it is in public domain. Even the children, even any other person knows that I think what is happening in PF right now, it is not something that anyone can still say, no, I am, hoping, they're talking about bouncing back in what form. So right now, those well-positioned and well-balanced thinking Zambians in the PF have actually moved on to support President Hakainde, because what we mean by being in these political parties is to serve the Zambian people. And if we've seen that the one that is in power is serving the Zambian people in the right way, the best way we could do is to support him. That's why I'm happy to see Comrade Chavinga. When I listen to him, I met him recently, I think at one of the funerals. I asked him, what is your vision? And he said, well, we need to support the president. And for me, I supported him. Even yesterday, I think, or the other day, I wrote on his Facebook page, all the best, comrade. Because if the aspiration are to give checks and balances that support the one who is in the office, then they are good. But if the aspirations are to distract the sitting president, then those people do not mean well for Zambia.
In 2021, when we spoke, you hinted to me in a way that it showed that your candidature in Munali under the Patriotic Front, you were single-handedly picked by the president of the party then, and obviously the Republican president. It gave me an indication that you had a special relationship with him. Did you consult? Did you have a conversation with him on your leaving the PF to the UPND, or you just left?
First things first.
Yeah.
I was not single-handedly picked by the president. By the way, at the time, he had not known me personally. Okay. At the time, I'll tell you that we had only met once when I led a team of artists. Then I was the National Arts Council chairman.
I remember.
I led a team of artists to State House to pay a courtesy on the president. And that was the first time for me to interact with him in the office, in the boardroom at State House. So he couldn't have, in a way, gotten to know me in such a manner that he would single-handedly pick me. I went through a rigorous process. Okay? Patriotic Front was in power then. When I decided to resign my job as a civil servant at Munali Girls Secondary School, I started with the ward in which I live in Munali, talking to the ward leadership. They bought in my vision. They escorted me to the constituency. The constituency bought in my vision. They escorted me to the district, up to the province. And remember, we were 8 of us vying for adoption at that time. And I think I came out, I presented myself as the best candidate then. And that's how I was recommended to the Central Committee. And I believe the Central Committee also deliberated, and then I was given the opportunity to contest. So
it had nothing to do with the fact that you could have had a special relationship with.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. There was no special relationship. It was the very fact that I'm a performer. I live with the community. I interact very well with the community. And I've taught quite a number of youths that are living in Munari now. So actually the information came from the grassroots up there. That's how I was given that opportunity, and to which opportunity I'm grateful.
Yeah.
But then when it came to living, I had a number of interaction after President Lungu had lost the election.
Yeah.
I think I was one of those few people that now became very close to him, because most people deserted him. Some of us remained with him, and I had opportunities that I could share with him my views. But when it came to the point when they decided to join WUKA, which organization I didn't know what it stood for, I mentioned that this thing is not going anywhere. I was victimized. I was called names. You know, you know the hooliganism in PF.
Yeah.
They would shout at you left, right, center without looking at the merits that you are presenting. When the squabbles started in the Patriotic Front, I'm on record that I wrote. I did not, when I was in PF, whenever I want to advise, I would write. Because I'm a scholar. I would write to the leadership, say my views are A, B, C, D. Because I didn't have any position to be able to have an opportunity to be in a meeting to voice out.
Right.
So I would write a letter. Even when these confusions started with Honorable Mao Sampa being suspended for 6 weeks, I wrote a letter to all the leadership to say, please sit down and do conflict resolution. I come from that background as well, where I'm a trained, facilitator of conflict resolution, mediation, and the like. I recommended. They brushed me aside. They told me, who are you, Patrick? So when I looked at those things happening, I said, well, they don't value what I'm telling them. So I told them I'm leaving. And that's how I left. And leaving to where? To the man that has the vision for Zambia. And why do I say the man that has a vision for Zambia? When I was in opposition, when he stood and announced that we are implementing the free education policy, I was the first one to salute that. And already I was criticized again for that. But me, I told them, say, look, my checks and balances are not based on hate or petty issues. When the president has done something, let us, pat him on the back and appreciate. Coming from the teaching background again, I was one of the happiest when President stood to say, we are going to implement the free education, and the free education was implemented. When the president stood and put his foot down, we are not going to tolerate cadreism in the UPND government, I was the first one to salute that. So many other, when I looked at the CDF, which was the decentralization form of taking the money nearer to the people, I was the first one to salute that. So then sitting with the people who every day they were talking about how much they hate HH, who every day were talking about how much they would want to bring HH down, I realized I was not sitting well according to my ethics and according to my upbringing, my Christianity value. I tend to value every bit of good thing in someone. So it is at that point that we reached the point of departure. And I put it clear to my colleagues then in the PF that this UKA you are joining, it's not taking you anywhere. People want to take advantage of the popularity of the former president and build their names. They thought I was joking. They called me names. Where are they today? They have again taken the president somewhere else, which is unfortunate. Former President Lungu is being abused. Is being abused. And unfortunately, he has also fallen to that abuse.
It depends which abuse, because he feels that this government is abusing him and his family.
No. This government.
Which abuse are you referring to?
I can tell you, like I've told you that when President Lungu lost power, I was one of those that was very close to him. Yeah. Government gave him an office, fully furnished. The furniture arrived in the office. Laptops, everything arrived in the office. Kablonga Bishop Road. Renovations were being done. I was there.
That would mean nothing if your family is the one that is suffering around you.
Well,
and that's what the main issue is in terms of him saying he is being abused. It's through his family. Like they are trying to, the current government. These are things that he always talks about, and I think it's in public domain. That even in an attempt to dialogue with the incumbent, he still makes reference to it to say, how do you go and reconcile when the government is closing down on your family?
Well, for me, talking about dialogue and talking about the issues that the former president has with the current president or maybe the government, I mean, President Hakainde Hichilema has come out openly, is very open to this dialogue and meeting. At one press briefing, then I was still in the opposition.
Yeah.
He even said, I will protect my elder brother. Whoever touches me, we talk. So, he has many times extended this olive branch. But I will tell you, Zach, certain things that you might not know. There are many people that are benefiting from this rift between President Lungu and President HH. Those that are in the... You know why? They know that when President Lungu and President Echet start talking, then their political careers is doomed. Because they are using President Lungu as a pawn in this game, unfortunately, to continue having relevance as politicians. They are finished politicians they are not self-made politicians. That right now, if President Lungu says, I have gone back to my retirement, then they are all finished. So that's why they are forcing him. They forced him to come out of retirement. Okay? They are still forcing, when they saw that Wuka is failing, they quickly rushed him to take him to Tonse, whatever it means. They are not taking the party. There's no party there. The party is with Chabinga. So they are not taking PF. There's no PF in Tonse. There's no way you get someone is titled deed and take it to go and get a loan from one bank. No. The title deed now, I don't know whether it was with Mouse. Now, recently here it is with Chabinga. He's the one that has the registered office bearers at Registrar of Societies. So which PF are they taking to Tonse? Are they taking to Uka? So these things I mentioned even before. For me, this is drama. This is circus. Now, the most unfortunate part is that in their drama, they are using the name of the former president, who's supposed to benefit as many Zambians other than the PF people. He's supposed to benefit many Zambians as a father figure of this nation. Than like where they take him to